Hi there, welcome to another edition of Pitchside. Thank you so much for always sharing the content. Thank you for always commenting and giving your opinion about whatever content that we put out there. We really do appreciate. Now on Pitchside, we do keep telling you that we want to make a difference in Ugandan football. We want to bring you guests that are definitely going to help you out there learn one or two things. The guest we have on the show today is arguably one of the best wingers Uganda has seen, in recent times. He's a legend at this club, which is Viper Sports Club, and as captain, he has amassed a lot of titles. 5 league titles, 3 domestic cups. He's captained the club to 2 domestic doubles in the last 3 seasons, and there is no way you can say that Milton Karisa is not a legend in Ugandan football and at Viper Sports Club. I have the privilege of talking to the captain, a rare opportunity because he rarely does interviews. MK11 are the initials, and really happy to have Milton Karisa on the show. Milton, thank you for coming through. Pitchside is grateful to have you here for this interview.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And thank you for hosting me. It's really a pleasure for me to be here and sharing some ideas with you. So it's an honor.
All right, it's an honor. We know you as a very quiet person. I don't know where that personality comes from, Milton, but it's not a bad thing to be quiet and to mind your business. But when you're too calm, oli mukakamu nnyo point yange leo wandisubira omuntu okubeera nga ali okitegeera excited and all, you remain so calm. Personality enevaawa?
I think I inherited it from my dad. It's the same way I am, and I just feel like sometimes everybody needs peace and peace of mind, whereby you can have time to think about yourself, your family, your future. But I'm not too calm. I talk a lot, but that depends with the connection and the bond I have with that person. Yeah,
you're very right about that. Kulikayo mu season
teyali nyangu naye twebaza Katonda we made it.
You made it.
Yeah.
Double champions.
Yeah.
That feeling must be special, Milton.
So special, especially when you've done it for the second time. Since I started playing football in our league, I haven't seen, I think KCC did it once. So I really thank God that it happened to me and to my club, the one that I cherish the most.
Would you say those are one of the moments that you cherish as a player? You look back and you say winning the double in twice in 3 seasons is just crazy and unbelievable.
Definitely, yes, because what we did, it rarely happens and very few people have done it. So I'm so happy. I'm glad that I was one of those players in the mighty club that we were managed to do that.
Okay, so let's get back to how the season started. Guys, we are talking about Milton being happy winning a double and stuff like that, but I'm sure 1 month into this last season starting, if I had asked Milton how the season would end, he would say muganda wange soko tulekemu kuba kitawuseemu. But Milton, let's rewind back to when the season started. It wasn't exactly a very good one. Of course, Nikola Kavazovic came in and the excitement was up there. People were happy. They were waiting to see what he could do for the club. And a few months down the road, he's out of the way, and you have new coaches. I think in Ayala and Fred Momoza. But a rough start to the season, and you end up winning, a double. Take us through that. How was that? How did that happen? What changed in between there? What was the difference? And maybe from the start of the season, did you at one time feel, this is going to be a tough one?
Honestly speaking, I would say when we came into the season,
yes,
we had our targets. And the major target was to win the league. And the way we started, it wasn't convincing. But as you know, the league has many games. So you lose some, you win some, you draw some. The way we started, it wasn't good. Yes, we admit that. But I just thank the whole team, everybody at the club, that we had that belief in us that we were the best and we could do it. So we never lost hope. We kept believing. We knew we could turn things around, because if you look at the quality we have at the club, is so massive. So we knew if we kept believing, we could do it, and that's what kept us moving. And you see, when we started with the win against, was it Villa? Yes. Because we knew if we beat these giant teams, one of the contenders, we could have a big advantage. So when we beat Villa, we were like, yeah, so that's one down, and we have more to come. So we had to keep positive minds. We had to do it for many people, because us winning a single game, it means a lot. It changes a lot of people's moods. For example, the fans, the people surrounding the club. The boss, of course. He's the top, of course. The boss, the fans. It changes their moods. For example, if we won today, maybe a fan came to the stadium, disturbed a bit, and we won the game. It could change his moods positively.
They would want to come back.
Of course. So I think we play a major role in people's lives. So it's our responsibility to see that they stay happy. And that's by us giving everything on the pitch to see that we win every game.
Well said. Maybe before we leave that topic, Nikola Kavazovic, what are some of those things that you picked out and you felt, as Milton Karisa, you've picked one or two things from him? And how would you describe him?
Nikola, he's an amazing coach. I think he's one of the best coaches I've been under, though it was for a short period. But I picked some things from him. He was so professional, always on time. He was always on point. He respected everybody, no matter the status. And all I can say is he had his vision, because everyone has a vision. So his vision was to see that we play better football, entertaining football, and having that winning mentality. Unfortunately, we couldn't continue with him, but I picked a lot. I think the first games you saw me where I was playing.
I noticed that there was a change, and there was a lot of backlash. By the way, many people thought he was doing a wrong thing, especially you and Yunus. We felt he's playing you people in the wrong positions. But maybe you give us the insight. What was in his mind?
I think he saw some things that maybe many coaches didn't see, or they chose not to see. But I believe if I'm a winger, I can play like a fullback. So I believe it was almost the same role as a winger. And he taught me that when you're a football player, professional player, you're not supposed to play in only one position.
You have to be able to adjust.
You have to adapt. So by adapting, you can get a coach and he says, no, I see you are capable of playing as a central defender. And you can't say, no, that's your job. You can go there and become one of the best defenders. So you just have to adapt to the tactics of the coach, as long as it helps the team to win. That's the most important thing.
Which is very, very interesting. But anyways, his reign came to an end, and how did you guys adjust maybe slightly there for the new coaches to come in, and for you to make sure that you have to remain switched on, because the season was actually beginning to get more and more interesting?
I think that's where the mindset comes in. You have to be so professional. You have to adapt quickly, because when you play football, it's not guaranteed that you will be under one coach for the rest of the season or for the rest of your career. So you just have to adapt to whoever comes in, because coaches are always different. Each one comes with his own tactics. So I think the mentality we have in Kitende is a winning mentality team. So that means you adapt quickly and see that you help the team win. And another thing is football is competitive. If you see the quality again in our club, is we have many good talents. So it's on you to either adapt quickly or be ready to sit on the bench. So I think that has helped us again to see that we adapt quickly because of the competitiveness in the team.
So the picture you're trying to paint is that because you've been signed at Vipers, that's not the end of it all.
Yeah.
They'll continue to bring more better players. So it's up to you to swim or to give an excuse and run away.
Yeah, and you can tell me that even if you go to a third division team, you will never be the best alone. Of course, every team wants what's best for it. That means they will always sign quality players, good players, to see that the team improves. And another thing, when they sign a player, that doesn't mean that he's going to take your place. It could mean that maybe he's going to change your life. He's going to help your talent get better. Because, for example, they can sign my fellow winger. I sit on the bench, he plays, I look at how he plays, what is he better at that I don't do. Then I can learn from him. I can make him my friend. I ask him. That's one of the things I've been doing all my life.
Oh, wow.
If I see someone,
learn from someone.
Yeah,
you allow yourself to learn.
Yeah, you accept that, I'm weak in this, doing this and this. So I make him my friend. I go and ask, how do you do this? We share, we become brothers. So that means we compete in a healthy way. It's not like when he plays, I feel bad. No. When he plays, I'm happy because I know he's helping the team. And when my time comes, it just has to find me when I'm ready. And when I grab that chance, I'll not let go.
Okay, so it's a support system.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting. Milton Karisa, you have been at Vipers for 7 seasons or about there. What is so special with this club? Why didn't you wake up at some point and say, guys, I've done enough and I'm out of here? I don't want to think it's a money bit, but what is so special with you being at Vipers for all this while?
I would say Vipers is like a family to me. Because aside from Vipers, if we look at Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa, since the day I met him, I haven't remained the same. He has improved me thoroughly. That's what I can say. So when you have that bond with the owner of the club, there is that magnet that pulls you to the team. So I just feel like Vipers is a family to me. And another thing is staying there for 7 seasons, and you see in every season they sign quality players and you're always there.
Oh, it's a motivation.
Yeah, so I would say I would really thank God because he has enabled me to stay consistent. And of course there are many challenges everywhere in everything you do. Many people might think maybe because I'm the captain I've not faced any challenges. I have.
Balimba
bingi
byoyiseemu affe tukulaba ali ekikomowo ekijja naosa n'agamba Captain Milton Karisa ne tugamba oyo anaavaawo
era nkyabiyitamu nnyo because life is all about challenges, but how do you take them on? That's the most important thing.
Maybe the other thing that I would maybe ask just to really drive this point home, in all the seasons you've been at this club, what do you pick out as that low moment? Nogamba man, this season, this happened. Of course, injuries and all, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, generally, what do you pick out and say, I almost gave up here?
I remember when we went for Chan in Cameroon, and I tore my quad, the right one. I stayed out for almost 4 months. By then, it was the late Coach Kajova that was on the wheel. Yeah. So when I came back from the injury, I wasn't the same because it was had taken too long. So I started slowly, but things were not coming the way I wanted, and at a point I felt like, wow, now I feel like this club is too big for me now. I think I should first get loaned outside. I go and pick myself up and come back again. But hopefully, I don't know how it happened. It's just God that that season, it was during the COVID. So it wasn't easy. I felt so down, and I was like, now this is it. I feel like my career, this is the end. But something came to my mind, and I was like, no, where you've come from is very far compared to where you are now.
You can't give up.
So you should just thank God and ask him for strength and keep moving, because life is all about challenges. You have to keep moving. And then the next season, I picked up and I was one of the best players, and I still am doing that.
Thank you very much, Milton, on that insight on, of course, the period you've spent at Vipers and how you managed to fight back when it looked like, all hope was gone. Let's move on to a very interesting topic. Milton Karisa, I think many people saw you at Bull when you were breaking out before you joined Vipers. Briefly, where does the passion for football start from as a Milton Karisa? Where does that thing in you say, katika ntandike diba lino lyabika lyesigaza?
All I can say is I was there on the streets of Sironko town in Sironko district.
Yes.
When I realized that I can play football. I remember I used to play football for fun.
Okay.
By the way, I was typical number 8.
Oh!
Yeah.
Omubiri guno nga tegugaba ddiba Milton.
Kankubuli. Do you know how I was spotted to come to Jinja?
No.
Osookikiriza wenkuga nti nasala ekisaawe kiramba.
Kweli? N'okiteeka wali?
Manager Faizo umumanyi.
Manager Faizo umumanyi. Muwulira by the way.
Faizo Muhammad. He is my witness.
Wasala ekisaawe n'okireka wali? Yajja
ejjinja n'anyumiza ab'ejjinja nti ndabye omwana mumpi bw'ati ng'asala ekisaawe kiramba n'akikuba awo mu Mbale Stadium. But I was just doing it for fun. Nze nga neesanyusa nga simanyi nti omupiira you can make it, you can turn it and make it a job. So when I was there, I used to play for fun. And one day, one of the clubs there, because we had 2 clubs in Sironko, they were rivals. So one of them qualified for, I think, Super Mini. So they came to me and they were like, we are looking for players. We want to boost our squad because we are heading to Jinja for Super Mini. For real, I didn't know what it meant. Super Mini, what? I don't know. All I cared about was, I'm going to play football in a different town. So that's a plus for me.
Noga tugende.
Embagamba tugenda. But I didn't know where we were going. There were no any preparations made.
Nowhere to sleep.
Nowhere to sleep.
What to eat.
What to eat. How long are we going to stay there? We didn't know. I didn't know.
Yes.
So I think they knew what was happening, but I myself didn't. So we reached Kakindu. It was at 5 a.m. So when we reached at 5 a.m., the game we had the first game at, was it at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m.? that very morning.
Yes.
So we slept there. By the way, I didn't even have playing boots. So time for the game came. We played against a team in Ginger. We played the first game. As we approached the first half,
Yes.
I just heard someone saying it because I didn't see him. Manager Faizo, he was at the tent. He ordered someone to go and bring me boots.
Oh.
Yeah. So they rushed to the market and bought Copa Mundia, the black one.
Yeah.
Adidas. Yeah.
Adidas.
When we went for halftime, we sat on the pitch. I saw someone came.
With boots.
Someone coming with the boots, and I'm like, he was like, you see that
Man there.
brown man there?
Hey, me. It is pointing at me.
Okay, that brown man there.
Yes.
He sent me to bring you these boots. I was like, really? Oh, thank you very much.
No yambala.
Yambala.
Kakati kamba salire ddala.
Sure. If there is anybody out there who was
At the venue.
who watched that game that day, you can be my witness. Nasara abasajja. In fact, that game ended 1-1, and if I'm not mistaken, I scored that goal. So the next day we had a game again, and we were called, and we had to be inspected. Like, they had to inspect the licenses. Unfortunately, I couldn't continue.
Oh.
Yeah, so
That's
I was
where
told to stay out. We were like 3 to 4 players, so they chose only those best players, and we were dropped out. That's when manager Faizo came and we spoke. He didn't know Lugiso, I didn't know Lusoga, so but I knew Swahili, he knew Swahili.
Oh, so you connected.
That's how we connected, and you're like, you're a very good player. I would like to take you to bring you here in Ginger, blah 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 blah. I was young. I didn't know anything. All I cared about, now I'm leaving Sironka, I'm coming to Ginger.
To Ginger.
That's nice.
The change of environment.
I told him, manager, it's totally okay.
Bambi. Innocently.
Right now, he's my dad now. So just to cut the long story short, from there we went for inter-regions. I was the top scorer. I was the MVP. Then from there I went to Ginger Municipal Council for big league. Then Bull. From Bull, that's when I joined Vipers. That
move from Bull to Vipers, what motivated you? What pushed you?
I believe that I could do more than what I did. And the only thing by then that I concentrated on was Vipers was going to represent Uganda in the CAF Confederations Cup. So I think that was the major motivation for my move by then. So I eyed for that Confederations Cup, and I felt like it was my moment to also go and showcase my talent outside Uganda. Yeah.
So you joined Vipers, and indeed you had a very good run. I think that's the season where St. Mary's Chende was opened.
Yeah.
You played Platinum Stars.
Yes, Platinum Stars.
And they eliminated you away.
Yeah.
You scored that goal at Chende.
I'm
not mistaken.
Yeah.
And Vipers, I think, beat Platinum Stars 1-0.
1-0, yeah.
Yes.
We went to South Africa and we were beaten 3-1.
3-1.
3-1, and I scored the goal again.
After that season, we thought Milton Karisa was actually going to, play for Vipers and continue playing for them. Twali tuliao. Sui! Akasimu ke Morocco ne kajja. N'osalawo n'ogamba kangende ku Mulindwa Club du Oranasis. Oba njogedde bulungi?
Bubi nnyo.
Soko nyambe mukaawo.
Bali bagiyita Club de Ushda.
Club de Ushda.
Yeah.
Soko otunyumizaawo. Kyali kitya gwe n'osalawo wakajja mu Vipers season emu wuyo swi onyize peso ogenze Morocco. How was that experience? First of all, how did you decide to go to Morocco?
When that opportunity came, after my performance in the previous season, I felt like now I think it's time for me to go and try professional football outside. So when it came, I spoke to Dr. Lawrence and he gave me a go ahead. So when he did that, he gave me his blessings. I was like, oh, so here's my chance. Now it's for me to go and see how things work out there. So when I went there, everything.
Before you go there, how was the process of you going to that Moroccan club? Did Vipers welcome it? Did you get your terms well? Did you agree with the club? I mean, usually it's a tug of war. Tagenda, agenda.
No, they agreed. They first agreed by themselves. That's when I was also given a green light to go ahead and do my negotiation. Everything went on smoothly.
How was your experience in Morocco?
I would say it was good and bad.
Tell us both sides to Yige.
On the good side, I got an opportunity to go and play in one of the toughest leagues in Africa. And I did well because it's not easy to go in one of the toughest leagues and you become one of the best scorers of the club. Especially when the club was had just been promoted from the second division. So I believe I did well. Yeah, but on the bad side, I feel they were not professional enough
as a club,
because the terms we agreed on the contract were not fulfilled. So here's the thing, Tabu, I would like to share with you. I would like everybody out there to know,
especially people in your field as footballers, and even us
and
journalists.
the fans too, and you, the analysts. Not every footballer that leaves professional football outside and comes back here had maybe a bad season. Everyone
who comes back has failed to perform at their club.
Yeah, because there are many factors. For example, you can perform well, but they were not professional enough to follow what you agreed on the contract
before they got you out of your team.
Definitely. So I believe, now on my case, I didn't leave Morocco because I didn't perform well. No, I left willingly because I felt they didn't fulfill what we agreed upon on the contract. Another thing, when we signed the contract, we signed the same contract.
Yes.
But when I went to collect the contract, you know, when you file a case to FIFA,
yes,
you're sent to get the original copy that was sent in the federation.
That you signed.
Yes. That was taken to the federation, not the one that you have. That's when I realized that those people
had alternated
my contract.
Wow. Was it in terms of the duration of your stay?
The duration, the release clause, and the salary.
They had changed everything.
They had changed the initial.
Without your knowledge?
Without my knowledge. So the contract that I had was different from the one that was sent in the federation. That's when I knew all that.
How long, when did you know that? After you had joined, when did you know?
After things had gone west. So I filed, me together with my lawyer, we filed a case
against the club,
FIFA. So I was sent to the federation to get my contract. Yeah.
Okay, so how long did it take you for you to come back and terminate the process and move on with another club?
It took some months, because even the release letter I got it from FIFA.
Oh.
Yeah, but it took a while, took like 3 to 4 months.
You had come back to Kampala?
Not really, because I was told you are supposed to stay there for like a month. So after all that, I had to stay there for more 3 weeks. Yeah.
Okay, so what's your assessment generally? I know you've talked about, or you've highlighted that, players coming back from pro stints doesn't mean that it's entirely their problem.
Yeah.
But what's your general assessment? Because we still have that issue of players coming back and, relaunching their careers. From your perspective, kiganira waawo.
Nze ndowooza oluusi tekigaana nga ffe abantu oyinza okgenda awantu, for example oyinza okgenda mu tiimu nekigaana oluusi. It doesn't mean that you're a bad player. Maybe the way they play doesn't fit your way of play.
It's a normal thing. It happens.
Yeah, exactly. But I myself don't believe that whoever fails a professional stint outside is a bad player, or maybe he failed it on the pitch. No. I believe there are different and many factors that led to that. So many people only look at the performance aspect.
But the other factors?
But there are more factors that can lead to you leaving abroad and coming back home.
Okay. Today you're one of the most decorated players in Ugandan football, and I say that with a lot of respect because when we were starting the interview, I told the people the 5 league titles you've won, the 3 domestic titles, you've captained Vipers to 2 domestic doubles in 3 seasons. That's quite an impressive record. I just wanted to know from your perspective, just give us a picture of how strong an institution is Vipers. How big an institution is this club, and in relation to St. Mary's Chende, so that people can understand just how much you people uphold it, how much you people respect it.
What I can say is Vipers is led by, I don't know how to describe him, but because I respect him so much.
Yes.
Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa, the way he leads Vipers, I think there is that energy it gives that institution. First of all, he has visions. So when your boss has visions, it means you must also dream. Okay. So that you fit in his setup. So I believe he is, should I say the leader? He is the leader of the vision and the dreams that Vipers have. So that means us as players and other people have to follow, because we believe in him, we believe in his dreams, we believe in his visions. So we just follow him.
How would you describe Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa? I know he's a father figure to you, but what are some of those things you would pick out and say he's the kind of person who doesn't like X and likes Y? If you do X, you're in problems. And give me an example of maybe one of the situations you've encountered with him. Notuka ku office nga tosobola nayingira oba nojja n'akuwa hagenene n'agamba thank you very much my son.
I think the most important thing that he looks at is somebody's discipline. You might be there and maybe you play but you're not so good or in anything you do, but as long as you have discipline, that's what he looks at first. So akulembeza nnyo discipline, and I just thank God that it has never happened to me.
You're in his good books.
Yeah. So nze ndowooza if you have discipline, good discipline, if you're professional enough, you're always on his good side.
What is that moment you pick out for the time you've been at Vipers and you say, this is the happiest I've seen Dr. Mulindwa and this is the lowest I've seen Dr. Mulindwa?
The happiest moment was in Lubumbashi when we knocked out
TP
Mazembe. Yes, after the game there was things happened there. The fans were not happy. Their fans, because we played under a full stadium, but we didn't have any fun.
And the game wasn't on TV,
The game, I think it wasn't. So after us knocking them out, they became violent.
They didn't expect it.
They didn't. So I think that was the most happiest moment I've seen Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa in.
And the sad, I know they're a couple because he's been there since the club started. So
yeah, a couple. So I wouldn't say, but all I know is he always gets sad when we don't win a game. Even more if we don't win a trophy. Yes.
The analogy that the players that have not grown up in the Vipers setup and St. Mary's Chende setup, and that when they come to the club, they struggle, or they are not exactly supported to actually, fit into the Vipers setup. How true is that? And because you have fellow players who have come there and left and said, what only watch 10, it was all a Morocco, something like that. What's your perspective about that?
I believe it's not true. First of all, I didn't study from Chiten.
You only came and joined.
I only came and joined. So I'm a true example of that is not true. Because if it was true, then I wouldn't be a Viper Sports Club captain. Because I didn't study from Chitende. So people should know this, that anywhere you go, not everybody will like you. And when you go there, you always find favorites.
You can't rule it out.
Ekyo kibeerawo buli wamu. Ojja kgenda awantu nga coach ono musambi amwagala nnyo, ono tamwagala nnyo. Si nti lwakuba gwa kususula, naye kiri mu musaayi. For example, kiringa ggwe. Emikwano gyo gy'olina gyonna tosobola kuŋŋamba nti gyonna ogyagala kyeki.
Gyonna sigyagala nga Clive Kyazze. Ekyo kankiyiseewo. Onnumya omutwe naye at least gyonna sigyagala nga Clive.
So it's not true. It's all about you. You've gone to a club that is so ambitious, the club that has visions and targets. That means that club is competitive. So you go there. The one thing you have to accept is I'm going to fight for my number. I'm not just going there to be pampered, because it's that team needs trophies. They want to win every game. So when I go there, I have to go and fight with my life. And of course, if you fight with your life, there's no coach who can bench you when you're playing well.
When you're giving 100%.
When you're giving 100%. So I believe if you go, or maybe you're signed in Kitende, you go and you fight for what's yours, you'll get it. But this thing of Toliwa Kitende, Toja Samba, it's never true.
You won the league double this season with Coach Fred Mohomoza and Coach Ayala John Luyinda. You've worked under several coaches, but what do you think these two brought to the club?
Those two people brought more bonding to the club. They showed us that if we stayed as a family, we can go anywhere we want. They taught us to be confident in whatever we do. They taught us that if you wish your friend well, you also benefit from it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So they balanced the team. Nga tosobola ono nga complaining agamba sifuna playing time. They tried their best. Of course tosobola sanyusa buli omu. Tosobola sanyusa buli musambi. But all I can say is they did their best to see that every player gets an opportunity to play.
How are they able to complement each other? Because they are two different personalities. For you who has worked closely with them, how are they able to complement each other as coaches and work together to execute the end result, which is winning?
Being with two different personalities is enough, I think. It complements itself because omu wabanga ali waggulu nga omu ali wansi, like in terms of talking, the way you talk to people, I think it complements. For example, wobeera ewaka mami mukambwe nga daddy mukambwe, waba wazibu, but omu wabeera mukambwe omu n'abanga mukakamu, At least there's a way you will find that comfortability at home. So I believe the major reason why they fit in so well is because of their two different personalities,
which makes it easier for you players.
Which makes it easier for us players because nze wengenda wa coach Fred nambogolera gamba ono leero ambogoledde kanzitukireko woono ajja kwogera mpola. Then he will find a way to talk to coach Fred. Or when I go to coach Ayala and he doesn't understand my point, I run to coach Fred, he'll understand, then he'll explain it to coach Ayala. So I think
as the captain of the club, how are you able to deal with egos in the dressing room? How are you able to give me that experience? How have you been able to deal with characters of players on the pitch? You know, we have situations where players have different understandings. Players look at things differently. But as Captain Karisa at the club, how has that job been, easy or difficult for you?
No, it has not been easy. And I wouldn't like to take this credit alone because I'm not the only captain there.
Yes.
So I would credit the other two, Alan and Hillary. We've worked together the whole season to see that we try because you cannot say that you will handle everything. You will try your best. The one that exceeds you, you try to look for help somewhere else. But I'll just say thank you to the players because the respect they give us captains there is to a maximum. It helps us so much to see that everything is moving on well, and the players are so professional. They're so professional. They know why they're there and they know what to do at the right time. So that makes it a bit easier. But it hasn't been so smooth just like that. Yeah.
Maybe slightly on Alan Oello. What's your comment on the player that he's become and how he's been able to perform the way he has performed at Vipers this season?
I believe he has improved a lot compared to the previous Alan, and I feel like he's just coming. He has not reached there yet, so we should wait for more to come. This is just like Jaribu, I believe.
His potential is not yet
exposed. I believe he'll reach heights because he's a very good player. He's a very good human being. Ngawo gambye nti nze ndi musirifu. I think we share that. Naye musirifu, he's humble, down to the ground, and I believe, he's down to earth, not down to the ground. I believe that he'll reach heights. Yeah,
that's interesting from a leader and someone who has been there and done that before. So you talked about the Champions League, and I remember you reached the group stages. It wasn't exactly a good ride. I think you lost to Raja, which got so many people talking. But also you, I think, beat the same Raja here. Did you draw? Yeah, you drew but scored your first goal here. Yeah. And that goal was scored by the late Bakr Rawal, who we'll talk about in a bit. But what approach do you think Vipers should now have headed into this campaign of the Total Energies CAF Champions League? Because there is more monies in the competition now. And you would say that if the team has prepared well, they can actually compete and go all the way. As someone who has been there, what is the approach? What should fans look up to ahead of the new campaign?
Being the first experience in the Champions League group stages, it was bound to happen because we are human beings, we make mistakes. And when you do that mistake, it's all about correcting it. So I believe this time we are going to do it in a different way, in a better way, to see that when we reach there, we will handle the things the way they're supposed to be handled. So there's always room to learn. So I would say when we went there that time, we learned a lot of things, a lot of positives and negatives. So we were just asking for another opportunity, and here we have it now. So it's upon us to see that we correct what we didn't do right that time. Yeah.
Bakr Rawal, of course, we are definitely, as Ugandans, we continue to mourn his death because he had a very huge impact, not only at the players at Vipers, but as a player, really. We all know we covered Vipers games and he had one or two things to joke about here and there. How has it been for the players to, get to terms to the fact that a teammate they played with every day, they trained with every day, they laughed with, is no longer with them? It should be a very tough moment, Milton.
Yes, it was and it still is, because I myself, we shared a lot of things with him. For example, even here where we are, we used to meet here.
Oh, a lot.
Many memories, and that's why if you paid attention during his dua in Kitende, I was given a mic to speak, and words couldn't come out because whenever I thought about him, about the memories we had, it is very tough, and it is still tough. It's never an easy moment. It's always tough, but that's life. We just have to keep praying to God that his soul keeps resting in peace.
Let's move to a very controversial topic, Milton, as we conclude. Your style of play. For a very long time, you've been the kind of player who is fast on the wing, and you're able to beat defenders, and you make it count for your club. However, that style of play has received a bit of criticism, especially when people feel you can do more than just what they call running. I don't agree with them because I believe sometimes you're under instructions. What's your opinion on people who think you should do more than just that?
When I started playing the way I do, there was one coach who told me that modern football, is about time and space.
Yes.
So I know fans like players with flares, but sometimes doing with those flares and your team doesn't win,
doesn't count.
It doesn't count. And remember, we play to win. So I can do all those things, but I feel that football has changed, and to me, that's according to me. When a coach gives me instructions, I must follow, because he knows more than I do. So I know fans, he wants to see you dodging 1, 2, 3. Yes, but we always do these things at the right time. So I cannot dodge when someone has made a run where I can play one touch and he scores and we all celebrate. Then I hold on to the ball, I don't pass the ball, he goes on offside, then I pass. So I believe I just try to simplify football. I play simple, basics. It's not because I don't know how to play, but it's just because I want to simplify. I want my team to win. But tukole changu kubanze wenfuna omupiira nga nsobola kuba takyemu kyekinsalisa abantu. So nkimanyi abasinga tebakyagala, but abamanyi abantegeera, they appreciate.
Okole changu ne weyongerayo.
You can never be loved by everybody. Olaba ne Cristiano Ronaldo ne Messi. So it's totally normal. Everybody has different opinions in everything. So according to my opinion, I do what's good, what can benefit my team, because if my team wins, many people will be very happy. But it doesn't make sense for me okusala abantu nga tetuwangudde.
Okay. Yeah. Last season you ran out of contract. Am I mistaken?
Go ngamba.
Netuwulira ne gatambula nti alina kudde eri. Naye tuba tuli awo ng'osigadde ku Vipers. What does the future look like for you at the club?
You know, they say that person who looks at after you when you're at the lowest moment he's the true person you have to keep.
Oh, wow.
So I believe, yes, of course, I cannot play forever in Vipers. Time will come and I'll move. But I would love to move when the right time has come. And when all of us have agreed and are happy. Yeah.
Kali Daucho yankuba akama, I was in Dar es Salaam, I think a week or something ago. Nangamba omusajja buli kimu kyali kiwedde. Bandi awo ngankubira akasimu. Captain, kikyuseemu. Nengamba kale. Kati awo nengamba singa season yene ewedde Karisa alina goolo nga 18 ku Yanga. But just the prospect of you joining such a club, how do you look at it?
Yeah, it would be a good move. Era nange nali nkyegombyeko. But nze omuntu akkiririza mu
the right time.
Nti nze ng'omusambi bwemba nga njagala kugenda mu ttiimu naye nga my club still feels like they need my service, I shouldn't force it, because everything happens for a reason. For example, if I went, sali wangu deddabu. So buli kimu, you have to do the things at the right time, and when an opportunity passes, you should never lose hope. God always prepares what's best for you. So I believe a better one will come, and when it does, you will just see like buli kimu kyekola kyokka ojalaba nga club entadde mu bulungi. So that's what I believe in, but I don't I'm not a kind of person that forces things like kati njagala genda oba nkoze kino. No, so
you want everything to play in its play out its own course,
because I believe in God, and Katonda tagera kibi.
God's timing is the best, they say.
Always the best.
You and your friend Yunus have been at Vipers for a minute, and I think Yunus has received a bit of criticism in the past months, during the season. What's your perspective about Yunus that people don't know? Maybe you can enlighten people out there on pitch side. What kind of personality is he as Yunus Sentam?
Yunus Sentam is a very humble guy if you give him time. He's funny. Did you know that he's one of the funniest players in Vipers?
I've come to know about that now that I talk to him here and there, but before I wouldn't say he's a funny character.
Msajja yasinga okuba olwali oyo.
Ate wa muziki
nnyo. Wa muziki gwo. No, I'm joking. Yunus is a humble guy, talented, so professional. It's only that omanyi omuntu wabanga, for example, igwe oyinza osanga omuntu nakujudginga even before you talk to him.
Also, people misunderstand him.
Someone can judge you even before he hears your voice. I think that's what they do to him. Like, obiragamba nonga yematira. No, teyematira. That's who he is. You just have to accept that's him and that's how he behaves. So you just adapt and get to know him much better. You know why he's like that. But Yunus Sentam, he's a top guy. One of my best friends at the club, by the way, if you didn't know.
And
that.
he moves, and you two move your brand so well.
Yeah.
Your brand, Milton Karisa, him, Yunus Sentam. We can see on social media. I think you have very, very good guys who take care of you. But Karisa, before I let you go, people also need to understand Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa, with the way he switches coaches. When Kavazovic was coming here and he said, "Don't be about local coaches, very unprofessional," and people, people felt offended. People seem to think that sometimes he doesn't think through his decisions. As someone who's in the vicinity, do you think that's the case? Or people are crucifying him for nothing?
I believe people are just crucifying for nothing. Because First of all, Tabu.
Yes, sir.
Tosobola kuŋŋamba nti waliwo asinga okwagala club ya Vipers okusinga Dr. Lawrence.
Taliyo.
Ye
vision bearer.
So that means whatever he does it for the better of the club. Aba atwagaliza ebirungi. So tosobola gamba nti ezo sente za spending tezimuluma. Akitegeera. But he wants what's best for the club. So nze ndowooza most times abantu just they don't understand him quite well. But he is the number one fan of Vipers Sports Club, and he cannot wish Vipers bad. So the way we trust him, we as Vipers Sports Club players, we believe in him. That's why you see whenever he bring in a new coach, we try our best to see that we bond in with that coach and we work together, because we believe Dr. Lawrence Mulindwa always wishes us well. So nze ndowooza aba tunoonyeza ekisinga obulungi naye abantu ndowooza ne bakikootinga
nebakiraba muganda wange. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for passing by on Pitchside. We really appreciate you've really shed some light on a number of issues. And for people out there, now they know some of the things that they needed to know about Vipers. Na ye abantu soko bagaye basigale ku Pitchside. So
ladies and gentlemen, always stick to Pitchside, because my brother here, he always looks for what's best, what can inspire you guys, what can educate you, what can help you. All the advices, you can get them here. So always support a brother and stick to Pitchside. Okay, thank you so much. Handshake kasente nyingi hapo toka nyoma. Guys, as always, please subscribe and keep those comments coming. We'll definitely be listening to your feedback. I appreciate Milton for passing by, and everything that is talked about, I'm sure you'll have a wonderful time watching it. Keep it Pitchside, don't touch that dial.